So I'm obliged to confront with you. I'm really really enjoying it.
Prada is a household name in the fashion industry today, known for their vast collections of minimal and simple designs. It is led by Miuccia Prada, the youngest granddaughter of the brand's founder, Mario Prada. But did you know that no female was allowed to participate in Prada at its inception?
Hey, that was weird.
Weird, right? Yet it's true. Valued at $7.32 billion today, Prada Group is one of the top 20 most valuable fashion brands in the world. What started as two brothers selling imported English traveling leather trunks to the Italian class in a shop on the streets of Milan has now become one of the leading names in the fashion industry today. Most of this transformation is due to the ingeniousness of a 29-year-old graduate of political science with no prior fashion and design education or training. How did an all-male enterprise come to be controlled by women for the past 2 generations? And how did these women transform Prada from being just a small shop in Milan to the international conglomerate that it is today? This is the story of Prada. Before we continue, let's take a moment to appreciate our sponsor, Sky is the Limit. The history of Prada began in the year 1913 in a small shop in the bustling city of Milan, when 2 brothers, Mario and Martino Prada, decided to start importing and selling leather handbags from England. They named the shop Fratelli Prada. This continued for a while, and the brothers expanded their goods to include other leather products such as traveling trunks, handbags, and other leather products. These leather goods, you see, were expensive, so only the Italian upper class could afford them. So it was no surprise that in 1919, just 6 years after its launch, Fratelli Prada was recognized as the official supplier to the Italian royal household. This was a big win for the fashion house, as it further endeared them to the Italian elites. In fact, this recognition inspired the design of Prada's first logo, which features the House of Savoy coat of arms. As you would expect, this meant growth and cash inflow for the brand. As the brand grew, there was a need for more hands in the business. However, Mario believed that women should remain in the home while the men worked and earned for the family. As a result, he refused to allow any female member of the family to join the business, if only he knew what fate had in store for him. Mario had intended to hand over the family business to his son, but in an unexpected turn of events, Mario's son had no interest in the business. So, after Mario died in 1958, his daughter, Miuccia Prada, took control of the company. One can only wonder what would have become of Prada today if not for that singular transition. Under Miuccia's leadership, Prada grew, reporting annual sales of $450,000 in the 1970s. By then, Miuccia had been steering the business for approximately 2 decades. Around this time, Miuccia was already looking to retire from the business. So, her daughter, Miuccia, joined her in the company at the early age of 21 in the early 1970s as the head designer and started designing handbags and luggage for the brand. Miuccia, however, was not always Miuccia. She was born on 10 May 1949 and named Maria Bianchi. Maria was the youngest of 3 children born to Miuccia Prada and her husband, Luigi Bianchi. She was trained as a mime at the Teatro Piccolo in Milan, Italy. Afterward, she studied political science and earned a PhD in political science from the University of Milan at the age of 24. It was at the university that Maria got interested in left-wing politics and feminism. Miuccia went on to become a member of the Italian Communist Party and was involved in the feminist movement in Italy at the time. So, when Miuccia decided to join the family business, she was met with harsh criticism from some people who thought it was inappropriate to talk about fashion as a feminist. However, she joined regardless, and people came to love the brand with time. But who would have thought Mario's youngest granddaughters, a mime, and a graduate of political science, would be the ones to take the Prada house beyond the shores of Italy and transform it into one of the biggest names in the fashion industry globally? Especially considering that Miuccia had no formal education in fashion and design, but that is exactly what happened. As the head designer of the fashion house, Miuccia brought an unprecedented level of creativity into the company. The designs she created were nothing like the regular designs that Prada is known for. In 1978, Miuccia met her future husband, Patrizio Bertelli. This was a man she had met selling Prada knockoffs at a trade fair. Bertelli was a young Italian businessman who was into the leather business. Miuccia hired Bertelli as her primary leather supplier. Bertelli was the one who advised Miuccia to stop the importation of English accessories completely and begin an original line of production for Prada. After spending 8 years as the head designer, Miuccia took over the company from her mother in 1978. She was only 29 years old. After assuming control of the company, Bertelli joined Miuccia as her business manager, allowing her to focus fully on her role as the head designer for the company. Miuccia's takeover of the company and her collaboration with Patrizio marked the beginning of a new era for the company, an era of unprecedented success and growth. Patrizio's business acumen and Miuccia's creativity proved to be a formidable combination. Miuccia's first major move was to introduce a new line of waterproof nylon backpacks and totes, which was made from the Pocono nylon fabric, the durable, waterproof material used to make military tents. However, this line was not an instant success, the reasons being that these nylon products were quite expensive and were not heavily advertised. Not discouraged by the performance of the nylon backpacks, Miuccia moved to expand Prada's product range. In 1979, she introduced the brand's first-ever women's shoe collection, gradually redefining what the brand is known for. This footwear line was well received by the public, but this was not enough for Miu. She wanted more, and who could blame her? She was creative, and she just could not stop sharing her creativity with the world. Just a few years later, in 1984, Miu unveiled yet another blockbuster, the now iconic Prada handbag production line. This line also became an instant hit due to its sleekness, sturdiness, and exquisite craftsmanship. These new products propelled Prada into the fashion spotlight. The brand's clean lines, luxurious fabrics, and carefully curated color palettes captivated the industry. And by the early 1990s, there was no doubt that Prada was one of the most coveted luxury labels in the world. The business collaboration between Miuccia and Patrizio had grown into a beautiful love story. The two of them got married in 1987 and gave birth to 2 sons in 1988 and 1990, respectively. Meanwhile, Miuccia made her mother's unmarried sister adopt her in the late 1980s so that she could hold the Prada surname officially. While Miuccia was building her family, the brand growth did not stop. She kept working in line with her vision for the brand, which was to create a global brand with bold, minimalist aesthetics. In 1993, Prada, under Miuccia's leadership, launched the brand's first ready-to-wear collection for men. In the same year, Miuccia founded Miu Miu, a new subsidiary label of Prada that focuses on women's clothing and accessories, and would go on to become a major success in its own right. When speaking of bold women in the fashion industry today, Miuccia stands tall. The diversification and growth of the company under her watch were incredible, and she seems to have reached the zenith of her business in Italy. But that was not good enough for Miuccia. She had her eyes set on greater objectives, international markets, specifically the Far East market. Therefore, Prada opened its first stores in China, Japan, and the United States, increasing the brand's popularity. Throughout this period of rapid growth, Miuccia Prada refused to get carried away. She stayed true and committed to the innovation and excellence of craftsmanship that the brand has now been known for. And this kept Prada at the forefront of the global fashion industry. Ever heard the saying that nature rewards diligence? Well, the saying is true for Miuccia. Besides the fact the increasing popularity and increasing growth of the brand led to a direct financial implication for her, Miuccia's contributions to the fashion industry in 1993 when she was awarded the prestigious Council of Fashion Designers of America International Award.
Gratitude and love to the stage, Miuccia Prada.
I'm so happy of being here. Thank you. Thank you.
As the brand continued to grow, it became a regular fixture in the wardrobes of celebrities and fashion icons, as they were regularly spotted carrying Prada's iconic handbags and sporting the brand's cutting-edge apparel on the red carpet and in high-profile editorials. This celebrity endorsement only further fueled Prada's desirability and cemented its status as a true symbol of luxury and sophistication. By the turn of the millennium, Prada had firmly established itself as one of the most iconic and influential brands in the world of fashion. Speaking of fashion, would you love to up your fashion game by acquiring some really nice sneakers? If your answer is yes, then head on to Sky is the Limit. There is a link to the store in the description below. Click the link now to shop for your choice of sneakers. Now, let's get on with our story. As Prada's reputation as a global luxury brand continued to grow in the 1990s and 2000s, Miuccia thought it was time to expand and diversify. Her strategy was to increase Prada's physical presence in some of the world's most influential fashion capitals. To achieve this, the company opened boutiques in strategic shopping districts of cities like New York, Paris, London, and Tokyo, ensuring that Prada's iconic products were accessible to their target audience, the global elite. To most people, Miuccia Prada was done. But this could not be further from the truth. Why? Because Prada's growth ambitions extended far beyond just geographic expansion. The company also sought to diversify its product portfolio through a series of strategic acquisitions, further strengthening its foothold in the luxury market. And in the following years, the company made bold moves to achieve that. Prada made its first major acquisition in 1999, when the company bought Church & Colliers, the venerable United Kingdom maker of classic men's shoes. This move was not only a big boost for Prada's existing shoe line, but also allowed the company to tap into Church's rich heritage and expertise in high-end men's footwear. 2 years after that, in 2001, Prada acquired yet another shoe brand, the car shoe brand. However, not all of Prada's acquisition attempts proved successful. In the early 2000s, the company made a failed bid to take over the iconic Italian fashion house Gucci, which was ultimately acquired by Prada's fierce rival, LVMH. Prada's investment in Fendi also ended up being short-lived, as the company sold off its stake in the brand a few years later. Despite these setbacks, Prada's overall acquisition strategy remained a key driver of its growth and expansion. The company continued to look for promising luxury brands that could complement its existing products, and all the efforts paid off. By the early 2000s, Prada had firmly established itself as a go-to for luxurious fashion items globally, with a presence in over 70 countries. This remarkable transformation from a small, family-owned leather goods shop to a multinational luxury fashion brand shows the vision, tenacity, and creative spirit that had defined Prada since its inception. Prada's journey from a humble leather goods shop in Milan to a global luxury powerhouse has been nothing short of remarkable. But even as the 21st century dawned, the brand continued to evolve and innovate. Today, Prada remains firmly in the hands of the Prada family, with Miuccia Prada as the head designer and her husband, Patrizio Bertelli, as the chairman of the board of directors. However, both in their 70s now, Miuccia and Patrizio are looking to hand over the leadership of the company to their children. They have brought in Andrea Guerra, the former CEO of Luxottica, as the chief executive officer. Guerra is to lead the company and facilitate the transition. Of course, Prada's success hasn't been without its challenges. In 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic dealt a significant blow to the brand's sales, as lockdowns and travel restrictions hampered its global retail footprint. But true to form, Prada weathered the storm and emerged stronger than ever, with 2022 sales reaching a record $4 billion. Looking ahead, the future of Prada remains bright. As the brand continues to evolve and innovate, it is poised to maintain its position as one of the most coveted and influential names in the world of luxury fashion. Whether it's through the introduction of cutting-edge new products, strategic partnerships and collaborations, or the continued expansion of its global reach, one thing is certain: Prada will remain a true icon of style and sophistication for generations to come. As Miuccia Prada herself once said, "What you wear is how you present yourself to the world." Especially today when human contact goes so fast, fashion is instant language. And with Prada leading the way, that language of luxury, innovation, and timeless elegance will continue to be spoken by fashion enthusiasts around the globe. Truly, sky is the limit.